So, have you been in a coma? Let alone, have you been in a coma for 3 weeks? You know how long 3 weeks is to be dead, right? How many brain cells you lose, how difficult it is for your body to recover after such an incident. Well, let alone, I was on life support in Harborview Medical Center for 3 months on neurological life support, meaning I had 2 spikes in my head. I looked kind of something like a devil on a hospital bed about to die with horns coming out of his head. One of those spikes monitoring my brain pressure, one monitoring my brain activity, and I guess my brain pressure and activity was going off the charts. And mind you, if your brain pressure and activity gets too high, your brain will literally implode inside of your skull. So they tried literally everything to keep me alive. But you know, if you do know me, Joe, I'm way too good to go out like that. There's no way I'm going to let something like that stop me from living my life. So, out of all the family and friends that were worried about my life at the time, they all should have known that I ain't going to go out like no sucker. So, I'm here today, going to college and everything. But there's a lot more backstory we would more than like to cover. So, in my actual brain, the last thing I remember is eating dinner at Frankie's Pizza the night I graduated from high school. I graduated high school as a junior, so at 17 years old. So I got my diploma on my high horse, just loving life, going to parties, just living it. Thought everything was perfect. So at this time, I was selling literally every single controlled substance in the book. Other than heroin, I never fucked with heroin. That shit is just gross. And anyways, so I literally sold every single drug you could think of in the alphabet. And I thought I just had it made. I had money in my pocket all the time, hundreds of dollars. I had a box full of more controlled substances than there are letters in the alphabet. And there was actually so many drugs in that box that when it was recovered, the people who recovered it had to test it and find out what the substance actually was. And I haven't really heard much about this box, but at the time when they recovered everything in the vehicle, there were detectives trying to come to the hospital while I was in my coma, and they were trying to talk to me because they were investigating where this box came from and who was in possession of the box at the time of the incident. But the thing is they were trying really, really hard, pressing to get in my room. But the thing is that you can't get into my room and talk to me because my brain pressure and activity is already going off the charts. So therefore, no one could talk to me, touch me, or even have any sound going on in the same room as me because I was laid on ice, like a fish in the fish market down there in Pike Place. Yeah, where they toss fish. Yeah, those fish like to sit on the ice to stay fresh. That was basically how I was for a good week, maybe even a week and a half. And so let alone, I was in a coma for a week and a half, my own coma. And at that point, I had woke up and I was going literally insane, not knowing where I was, not knowing what was going on, not knowing anything, because I just woke up from nothing. I literally don't remember what was going on at the time, but apparently I was told this by many people, and I believe them because they don't lie. I was scratching myself profusively so hard that I was drawing blood. So therefore, the doctors and nurses only could do one thing. So they induced me to a coma for another week and a half. And then after I woke up from that, 3 weeks into it, I woke up from my coma, and in my head, I see it as I woke up, started walking around, like quickly getting back my cognitive abilities, but apparently it took a long time for me to get there, which a long time is really only a week, because after I woke up, it was a 3-week coma, and then I stayed in the hospital for 3 months. I was on ICU for a long time, on neurological life support, and then when I was ready to stand up and walk around, they put me through the entire model system: occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech pathology. They even tried to put me in vocational therapy. And if you know anything about all of that, It's basically relearning how to do everything, how to do anything from speaking, moving your hands, like eating your food, how to prep food and everything. And so it took me quite a bit to get back everything. I had to relearn how to talk, how to walk, how to shit, how to piss, how to do anything. And at one point, I was actually urinating and moving my bowels in my sleep because my brain didn't know when to do that. So basically, I was in the hospital for a while, but I woke up and I was many times over, I was considered a miracle child. Which, in my opinion, I guess that's somewhat true. But the thing is no. I woke up 18 years old. I woke up a man. So therefore, I guess you could consider me a miracle man. And still to this day, people look at me as a boy or as a child. But no, I am far from a boy and or a child. I actually go to work and go to college all after all of that. So, in my opinion, I'm a self-sufficient, independent man. And people just simply don't understand. So, I've come to the realization that your reality is based simply upon your perception. So the way you see your day when you wake up is basically exactly how it's going to play out. So when it comes to religion and those types of things, I probably would consider myself a clusterfuck. Meaning I take all of these things that every religion has to offer, throw it all in a cauldron, and boil that until all the bullshit burns off, and until there's nothing left but love. And that's basically what you could consider my religion. So I'm going to continue the rest of my story at another time because my story goes on for quite some time. Thank you. So, go ahead and try and start out your manhood at a standstill. Not at a standstill, let alone in a coma. In a comatose state for 3 weeks. And on top of that, let's put you on neurological life support in Harborview Medical Center for 3 months. Without any hopes that you're gonna live. Without any hopes that anything good is gonna simply happen. So then out of nowhere, you wake up. And at this point, you're in a hospital, neurological life support, not able to leave, not able to do anything, but relearn how to live. Relearn everything from eating, drinking, moving your bowels, passing your urine, everything. How to talk, how to move your hands, how to prep your food, how to put on your shoes, how to do everything. Because you're in a comatose state, and now you're back. But the thing is no matter what happens to you, in the end, life goes on. So you gotta learn how to live with the circumstances you're dealt. And at this point, you decide, you know what? I'm free. They let me out of the hospital. And no, I don't want any of the drugs that you're trying to give me. I'm in mass pain, but I'm not gonna destroy my liver taking these so-called prescription drugs that are gonna help aid me in my pain or aid me in dealing with my problems. Because I've had some severe neurological issues over the past few years. But I decided, you know what? No one's gonna hire me. I was coming up without luck on finding a job, so I decided pretty early on, you know what, I'm gonna go to school. And at this point, I already know how to weld. I'm actually a very excellent welder. So hey, let's go get our welding certification. We'll just make big bucks coming right out of high school. But no, I decided that I would be a lot more efficient in displaying my artistic ability through digital media. So then here I am. I'm in school trying to get my bachelor's degree in digital media production. But like I said, life goes on. As a broke-ass South King white boy, you need to find a job. You need to find something to do every day. So now I found a job only making $10 an hour. But you know what? Like, that's enough. It's enough to get you by to start out. Because now I'm a 20-year-old human being trying to be independent. Set myself apart from my parents, not live off of them anymore, because I'm not going to be a bum. I'm going to be doing great things. I'm going to be far surpassed anybody's elevation, no matter how high you might think you are, no matter how rich you are. Money doesn't mean anything. Happiness means everything to me. And you can't live without enjoying the experience and understanding that there simply is not enough that you can learn. You're always learning every day. No matter how smart you think you are, it doesn't matter. you're still learning every single day. And if you can take the time to sit back and listen, actually open your ears. Don't just hear what's going on around you. Understand, interpret everything that's happening. Try to find a more effective and efficient way to get through your day. Things of that nature. So now, after receiving a diffused axonal traumatic brain injury, which, mind you, 99.7% of people who receive this traumatic brain injury, and especially to the extent that I received it, 99.7% of people are either dead or a vegetable. So I am a 0.03% victim of such a traumatic injury. But you know what? Like I said, life goes on. So I need to wake up, don't worry about what happened to me, and just live with the circumstances that I'm given. So in a way, play with the cards that you're dealt, because life is always looking up if you keep a smile on your face and continue the day positively. No matter what happens to you, no matter if you get beat, physically punched in the face, or the way that I believe and perceive things, then you do not deserve to have any of my attention. You don't deserve to enter my emotional train. You don't deserve anything. But if you do want to listen to me, then take what I tell, gather it all, and excel. So I think that'll be it for today.